Good afternoon and a very warm welcome along to Pembroke Cricket Club here in Dublin, where we're about to have today's T20 fixture between the Leinster Lightning and the Northwest Warriors. Toss took place a little bit earlier on and the Warriors captain Andrew McBride was successful and has decided to bat first here today. So you can see out in the middle the two Warriors and the blue team of the Leinster Lightning in the field. So we're all set to go here. Sunshine has arrived, a little bit cloudy and a little bit damp earlier on, but we're all set to go here with a 3:30 start. I'm delighted to have Pembroke veteran, let's say, Craig Senior here. You've been away for about 10 minutes out of this ground, Craig. Lovely to have you with us today.
Well, welcome to Pembroke, and well, we're showing the ground at its best today. Bit of sunshine, bit of blue sky, and we're underway.
And a little bit of shape earlier on for the new cap for the Leinster Lightning. Left arm seamer. And it's Jay Mundra who has received his cap earlier on at the team huddle. And he's opening up the bowling here. Left arm coming over the wicket. He's bowling Gavin Ralston. A nice bit of shape to start with. It's Cian Hilton at the non-striker's end. So a very useful opening partnership for the Warriors today.
Well, that's the thing about this sort of late season games. The title may have been decided, but it's an opportunity for both sides to. Now both sides have good, strong attacks, but it still enables them, new caps on both sides. People introduced to the Interprovincial Series, so they get to see what it's all about. As we see the first wide and the first run on the board for the Warriors.
Yeah, obviously was at the game on Sunday. Mundra club side is of course Leinster, and he was involved in that T20 final against Lisburn on Sunday, and what a game that was. If you were able to be at Phoenix or indeed watch the coverage. That's a lovely shot. That's picked up off his legs from Ralston. A couple of bounces and over the boundary for the first one of the day.
Well, that's a lovely shot to get the Warriors underway. Just picks it up beautifully off his toes. You can see the bowlers just try and attack the stumps, but on this occasion a bit too close to the pads and whipped away nicely for 4.
And with the gain, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. He's got a little bit of pace. He can get it through. Can Mundra, but it's just that radar. If he gets it right, it can be a difficult customer, but just in this format, sometimes that pace can be your biggest enemy in that, any bat on it tall, especially in a power play. You can go for a few boundaries. So you'll try and adjust that radar. That's crack off the bat. Bit of a chase for the skipper. He's going to pull up on that one. He's going to beat him there. Second boundary in the over. Lovely shot from Ralston.
Well, Ralston certainly has arrived in touch and looking good. And this is a beautiful shot. Not overhit, just punched through on the offside. It got past Harbinson, and after that, well, the skipper was only on a fetching duty, really. That's a lovely start for the Northwest Warriors.
Yeah, just see it there again. It's quite an interesting one from Ralston. When he's playing that shot, when he's coming forward, he's got his right foot coming towards the ball, obviously, but his left foot at the back seems to just lift up, and he plays it almost on one foot. I saw it in that replay there. It seems to be a bit of a habit tick sort of thing that he plays it off the front foot, literally playing off the front foot. That one's defended. So ends the first over. Mundra gets through it. A couple of boundaries though. One picked up on the leg side, the other nicely hit through the off. 2 boundaries to Ralston. He's on 8 and the total is on 10.
Well, that's a positive start for the Warriors. They'll be delighted with that. Nice way to start. Double figures off the first over. But the young lad did well for a first over at interprovincial level. You were talking about his radar being off, and that's something that will come with experience. But at least he gets a taste of what's required at this level, because you can see how easily a batsman like Gavin Ralston could clip him away for a couple of fours in that over.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, just is that little step up. That's the whole point. You are stepping up a level from club. You would expect that. And just coming into an environment with, we talked about it, a lot of internationals on the Lightning side today. Just coming into that environment, feeling comfortable, getting thrown the ball. First up at the nursery end, few on hand, and that's a good ball. First up, big appeal. First up to Hilton.
Sort of felt that the umpire thought that was drifting down the leg side. But for a moment, Hilton would have been a little bit concerned.
Yeah, I think so. Umpire Rolly Black back in the action. Great to have Rolly Black back with us now. He's been jet setting around the globe recently. Very high profile umpire, of course. Really doing a good job just for Irish cricket as well. There's good pace from hand. The wholehearted cricketer is Fionn Hand. Know what you're going to get. Good character. Coming charging in here.
Sort of on the fringes of the Irish pace attack. But really wants to do well for his province. Ooh.
Yeah, he's given Cian Hilton a bit of a work over here in the first 3 deliveries. Hit him twice now.
And you can see Hilton is dead keen to get bat on ball and
well,
just get underway.
I think he'd prefer to get the bat on the ball than himself. He's been hit twice now and doesn't look overly comfortable right now. And a good short ball to follow up. Oh, it is called a wide. Don't mind that.
Signal for 1 for the over. But again, it was good to see Hilton looking to take on the shorter ball. Didn't catch up with it on this occasion, but it wasn't just a duck and get underneath. Still looking to get bat on ball, really.
And he does so finally. There's a man down there. Gavin Hoy. Field, so Hilton gets off the mark from his 4th delivery.
Don't think he'll be too upset at the non-striker's end right now.
The rest of the over down that end. There you go, Gavin. You can see these last 2 balls, but good to see that little bit of aggression in the game there. That's what he gives you. Going to stay over the wicket to the left-hander. You can see Lorcan Tucker well off to there. There he is. Just angling across. I think that's a little bit harsh. Was angling.
Would have been quite tight, I think, that one.
Yeah, just with, as I said, it looks, when you see Lorcan Tucker's almost standing, way off the pitch, knowing that the angle's going to come across, so you can see there where Lorcan Tucker's setting up. He's off the strip.
Slip.
Yeah, he's off the strip there, so the ball's always going to go across. And well fielded. Backward area.
John McNally with the work there. But it does bring Hilton back on strike. Sure, the best way to deal with your fears is to face them. So here he is now.
Yeah, look, he's a gutsy cricketer. It's Cian Hilton. He's playing in the NCU at the moment for Linville Academy. Got his first 100 a couple of weeks back. 50 over game. They've been struck again. That waist area. That's a good over from Fionn Hand. Just a 4 from it. A couple of wides thrown in there, and he's just been aggressive from ball 1 there. Good stuff from Hand.
Yeah, the aggression came from the Northwest Warriors in the first over when you've got a debutant sort of feeling his way into the game, but then the ball goes to hand and he has the experience and the aggression, and good comeback really. Just the 2 off the bat to go with 2 wides. And now Moondra looking for his second over.
Yeah, just keep an eye on that. What I was mentioning about Rolson in the previous over, just what's that sort of back foot, that left foot that he plays his shots coming forward. He does tend to lift the leg and play like, I suppose Kevin Peterson used to do that and play like the old flamingo shot they used to talk about. It's just a little tick that Rolson's got there.
There it is again.
Yeah. Gets away with that one.
I'd say he's grand on the dance floor as well. He has the movement.
He definitely does.
We often talk about batsmen not using their feet. Well, there's no doubt he's certainly using it. And perhaps that's the way he gets himself going. And
it could be. We talk about a lot of times when bowlers, we always talk about you don't have to have a regulation action to bowl. It's the same with batters. You don't have to be these days. I mean, the technical book has gone out the window a wee bit in T20. It's just, can you hit the ball, really? He goes, tries to be innovative.
Perfect
Perfect
example of what you were saying there, where it's different shots. The old MCC coaching manual really has had to undergo a lot of revisions, I'd say, over the last 20 years, I suppose, as much as T20 cricket has been on the scene.
Slower ball that time. Nicely bowled.
Well disguised.
Yeah, through the shot. Let's say Rolston well through the shot there. I mentioned this last week. The Knights 4-dot balls in this over. And that's where you build the pressure. Rolston will be thinking about every dot ball now as it comes along until he gets another one. Gets another one away, rather. He'll be thinking about those. There's another. That one's okay. It's a bit of swing from Mundra.
Well, this is a much improved over against his first. Hasn't drifted too much into the pads. That's where Rolston picked up his first 4 through mid-wicket. And this is good. Skipper just hanging on to the ball, just slowing the over down. 1 ball remains.
Straight up in the air, and he's going to get his first wicket, and that is a beautiful over from Mundra.
Well,
he
wicket
really
maiden.
Has done well there. Wicket maiden, as you say, from his first over, where he's a little bit nervous possibly, but he's managed to bowl 5-dot balls and built the pressure right the way through the over there. And then the last ball of it, little bit of a short one, tempting Rolson in. All he could do was surely top edge that straight up. It seemed to come very low, so possibly just a glove on it, but Mundra does the business. He'll see it again here.
He tries to lift it over Tucker at the keeper's position, but just got too much of it. And as a result, the simplest of catches for the bowler. Nice way to open your interprovincial account.
Yeah, remember that. Second over is a wicket maiden. As you say, just a nice little piece of captaincy there from George Dockrell. Just slowed it down a little bit, let Gavin Rolson think about the fact that he hadn't scored a run off the over and he had to really do something. And that ended up with the wicket. First wicket down, 14 for 1.
Yeah, the value of a dot ball as a weapon, I think, is widely underestimated. You could see that, well, it's in the shot that Rolston played, showed how desperate he was to get bat on ball and get a run.
Well, not interested in that one, Hilton. He's just said, well, you can bowl at me, and if you don't get it right, you can still pay the penalty, even though Fionn Hand's been getting him a bit of a workover in that first over. Just on the leg stump there, and just a little bit of down the leg side, and see this ground is a quick score on the ground. 6 to Hilton. back.
Bit of length from hand on this occasion. Previous ball, well, Hilton picked it on length and clipped it away, and it's a lovely shot.
There's a man out there, but no chance. Boundary rider, both on the square, off on leg. Down the ground this time from Hilton. Didn't get all of it. Tim Tector comes round and will field. So just the two.
Safe enough shot from Hilton though. Plenty of open acreage there for the ball to land. Just the three fielders on the leg side. One of whom, Tim Tector, out on the boundary. Power play lasts for 6 overs. We're into the second half of the power play now.
There it is again, just that shorter ball. He's got Tim Tector right there. He's in the game there, I think.
You get the feeling these ones that were hitting Hilton around the waist, those are the ones he's chasing after now. And he's not quite got that. He got one out towards the players' tents, but
a little bit fuller.
Yeah.
Say that slightly back of a length from hand. Seems to be causing a few problems for Cian Hilton at the moment. Oh, that's a good nut. That's a good nut there from Fionn Hand. Good cricket all round, really.
Well, Hilton did very well there because he was in start at the beginning of his shot and he decided very quickly that no, just leave this one totally alone, and it went through to the keeper. He'd be happy enough with that.
I think he was probably preempting a ramp shot there, and I don't know if Fionn Hand saw it coming, but I think he was going to bowl that ball anyway, and it was directed right at the helmet. He did well, as I say, not to try and fend that off, just let it go by. This occasion, though, two men converge, and, well, he managed to get there. Seamus Lynch takes over. Jay Munder, maybe a little bit of sort of inexperience there, wanted to run in and take that. It was always Seamus Lynch's catch, and that length we were just talking about. He may have got the first ball of the over away for a 6, but Fionn Hand's been all over Cian Hilton there. That's short of a length. Straight up in the air, and he goes for 9. Caught Lynch, bowled Hand.
Well, it's short of a length, and again, it's the ball after the captain's had a word with the bowler. I mean, Dockrell doing exceptional work out there. Seamus Lynch, I think, would have had to have been pushed with both hands to get him off that one. It wasn't the case. And again, the last ball of an over brings a wicket. And again, apart from the 6 at the start of the over, Northwest letting too many balls develop and then feeling that they have to go big.
Yep.
And it's costing them a wicket each time.
I think that's been a bit of a story of their campaign, really. Losing wickets in power play. Was at the game at Eglinton a couple of weeks back when they actually reversed that trend a little bit. Stephen Doherty scored 80 plus that day. Played lovely against the Knights and put on over 200 that day, and that was the first time they'd really set a platform where they could go later on. Today again, looking at the scoreboard with the old Richie Bano right now. 22 for 2. And they're going to give Jim under a 3rd over here. Going to bowl the 5th over. First ball for Liam Doherty. We haven't even mentioned Liam Doherty. He came in at the fall of the first wicket. He stood at the other end while Fionn Hand peppered Cian Hilton. We got 2 batters. That's the first ball that Doherty's faced, and before that it was 2 batters on naught with no balls faced, just in the power play. So not a good script for the Warriors. That's wide.
You could see he tried to push that one across the batsman and did, but started it far too early. It went wide. Yeah, it's amazing how just something as simple as a score evokes the personality, the man that was Richie Benno.
Just a score. Yeah.
Just a score, and that's all it needs to be. And we all go back to his voice.
Decent shot from Dougherty, but into the ring. Away again. The fielding. Dougherty's had a good season with his club, Eglinton. They've been pushing in the northwest for the championship. Maybe just going to fall a little bit short at the minute, but still in challenging. But Dougherty has been pretty much their standout player, you would have to say. With bat and ball, in fact. Nicely bowled. That's the line he's looking right there. Just a little bit of shape coming back in with that left arm.
And we are at that stage of the season now, I suppose, the silverware month that is August. I saw Strabane, even though they failed in the National Cup last Sunday, while they were on the field, won the league.
Yeah.
So many congratulations to them up in the northwest. I don't know who's top of the Premiership up there.
It's complicated. It's complicated. They've got the bonus point system as well in the northwest. It had been Eglinton and Donnamana for a long time. Just in the last few weeks, new buildings have come along. They had a double header last weekend. If they won both games, they would win the league. And of course, the old weather intervened and caused a few problems. So new buildings, if they win their 2 games, it looks like they could do the double. But it's still up for grabs in the northwest. That could be out. They've all gone up very, very confident, and finally it's been given. Yeah, I think the umpire was just waiting for the batsman maybe to go. He didn't, and eventually he had to send him on his way. Very, very confident behind the stumps. Almost didn't even appeal because they were so confident. But Liam Dougherty doesn't look too enamoured with that, let's say.
Well, it could be that he has good reason for the slowness of his walk from the pitch. He felt he didn't get an edge. The umpire did take his time. It was a coordinated full appeal from the Leinster players. They were up straight away. I just wonder if we might just see a puff of dust.
Balbirnie, it doesn't even... Well, really interesting there to look at Balbirnie. He looked at the umpire and was almost aghast because he hadn't given it. And then eventually he gave it out. So I do think that Aidan Seaver was waiting on Dougherty. He thought maybe he was just going to walk off.
Give him time.
Yeah.
But I like umpires who do that. You know, they know it's out. Well, they've decided it's out. But just give the batsman a moment. It encourages the sportsmanship side of it. And when a player does walk off, it does. It certainly is. I mean, I've had ones where I was umpiring and hadn't given a guy out. Well, that was because he's walked halfway back to the pavilion and the bowler's still shouting at me.
You don't need to give him out, and he's halfway back. Whisper it quietly, but Jim Munder's got 2 on his debut. The end of the over. It's 5 done now. And as I say, getting the high fives as the players go past. Jim Munder has 2 wickets now on his debut.
Dream start to his Leinster Lightning career.
Yeah, just shows how quickly T20 matches can turn for you. Gone for a couple of boundaries, well hit boundaries from Rolson in the first over, and we thought 10 from it, and this could be a baptism of fire here, but he's come back really well. Taking those 2 wickets already. Little change. The nursery on. Fionn Hand's going to be replaced by John McNally. John McNally's a cricketer I've really enjoyed watching this year. Clontarf all-rounder. Scott Macbeth, we did the same thing, and we haven't even mentioned Scott Macbeth, who's out there. He's coming at 4. Better get it out of the way before we forget about this one as well. At least we've got a single and a change of hands. It's Jared Wilson, who's out in the middle now for the Warriors, and again 3 down in a power play.
Well, that's not ideal. It usually means the fielding side will feel that they're on top. Top three gone. And of course, it puts a lot of pressure on the batsmen who are out there because the Northwest need a partnership.
Yeah, they do, and I hesitate to say best two batters, but Wilson's off his first 100 of the year for Cliftonville Academy in the league on Saturday. And Scott McBeth is having to get his skates on there. Oh, he thinks that could have been close. So as I say, Wilson got 100. He usually comes in 5-6 for Cliftonville, and he scored 100 fairly quickly. He's been in good form. Macbeth's been in good form all season for Brigade. Hasn't really taken that into the Warriors. You know, argue he's the most talented player coming through in the Northwest. And these two will know each other really well from the under-19s, you would say. Again, might have an argument that John McNally's probably the standout young player in the Leinster League. Maybe a few would argue that, but he's been the one this year, and Scott McBeth up in the Northwest. Adam Leckie maybe in the Northern Cricket Union this year, all playing that under-19s setup. So these two will know each other quite well. Flash of a drive. Straight to first slip if there was one. Goes for 4. Streaky from Scott McBeth.
I don't think he'll mind. I don't think his side will mind. It's 4 onto the total and hit to a safe area of the ground. But as you say, first slip, well, would have been wearing that.
Yeah. Morgan Tucker waves it bye-bye.
That's all you can do, really. And as we come to the end of the power play, you'd have to say the power play belongs to Leinster.
Yeah. Been the story of the season, really, for both sides. Slower ball from McNally. Macbeth misses out. That closes out the power play. 6 overs done. 29 for 3. At the end of the power play, Craig Senior takes a little break. Delighted to have Isabel Joyce with us this afternoon, and 6 overs gone. 29 for 3 for the Warriors. Going to have a change of bowling. Gavin Hoy's going to come on. So again, a good start for the Lightning, is he?
Yeah, really good start. 3 wickets down in the power play. Never good signs, especially when it's under 30 on the scoreboard. So no surprise to see a slip in place. Andy Balburney back in there. Gavin Hoey, the leg spinner, playing on his home club ground, coming on from the St. John's end.
Yeah, I was chatting to Craig just before the game started here. Obviously, he's seen a lot of Gavin Hoey this year. Thinks he hasn't bowled better ever, and he's really in a rich reign of form. He almost gets a wicket first ball.
Well, I'd say just even from that delivery, I haven't seen him in a few weeks, and he looks like he's finishing his action off a little bit more. So he used to bowl a little bit quicker than that. Maybe just trying to get it into the pitch, but because he's releasing it quite late and getting over the top, he gets that little bit of dip. So it's looking like it's going above the eye line, then getting dip in towards the right-hander. And of course, he can turn it away. He can bowl his googlies. Has all the tricks.
Oh, there's a perfect example of what you're talking about, is he? Absolutely perfect example. Just a little bit of drift in. I've talked about it all year when he's been bowling. He's got a little bit of drift in towards the right-hander, and then it straightens or it goes on. And this one takes the neck just wide of Balburney.
For me, it's that little bit of extra drop that he's getting now this late on into the season that's so impressive. Makes it look like it's there to drive, but just drops in front, gets the batsman reaching for it.
Yeah, he did a game last year at Stormont where he took Tournament best figures of 7 wickets last year, and 3 or 4 were caught at slip. Just playing exactly that shot, just going forward and taking the high part of the bat and going to slip. He's obviously made the test squad earlier this year against Zimbabwe. He's got you'd have to say he's got a little bit of a snake for that squad that's going to be picked to go to South Africa. Difficult to break into an Ireland men's squad, but certainly making the case. That's in the air, and there you go. Exactly what we're talking about. Just that little bit of drift in, and then it straightens up. Wilson playing on the leg side, leading edge, and I could hear Harry Tector just in front of us here shouting, "Catch that!" And George Dockrell did just that.
Well, for a second, I wasn't sure was it going to carry as Wilson goes for 2 from 5, 35 for 4 now. Let's take a little look. Again, I think it's that drop. Obviously, he has the drift in. We've seen that, but just drops a little bit shorter than expected. Looking to work it into the leg side, and the leading edge carrying to George Dockrell, who anticipated excellently and comes in to take an easy catch.
Yeah, 4 down again for the Warriors. Their batting woes continue. As I say, that innings against the Knights a couple of weeks ago really has just been a bit of an outlier. Generally been at least 2 or 3 down in the power play this T20 campaign. And here we are again, 4 down in just the 7th over.
Yeah, that 4 off Cavan Ho's second ball. It's where stats don't tell you the story.
Yeah.
Really good delivery that was pushed at, went past Andy Balbirnie in slip and races away down the hill here in Pembroke towards the nursery end. It's exactly the area you don't want to get hit when there's not extreme pace on the ball, because it's a sheer drop down there as you go look from the square. It does bowl at good pace, of course, but maybe somewhere else you'd have a chance at backward point there, John McNally, of chasing it down. Not here.
No, you can see it as it falls away in front of us here. You can see it just dropping over toward the team tents. Nicely bowled again. Great over. You have to say, a really good start there from Hoy. Takes a wicket of his 5th delivery. 1 for 6, and the Warriors creeping along to 35 for 4. Cameron Milley, he's come out to the middle. Knowing Cameron Milley as a player, he's the finisher for the Warriors. They like him to be coming in the 14th over and doing a bit of damage late on, but it's the complete opposite here. He's in just the 7th over, and quality player, but it's not the role that he's used to.
Yeah, that's really difficult as well when you're practicing for a certain role to then have to adjust. You do generally have the most adaptable players in at 5 and 6. So Melly will have played in these kinds of situations plenty of times before, but it's not ideal. But it's Macbeth on strike. Field has spread. Fine third square leg mid-wicket and cover out on the boundary. So a very usual field. I find myself calling out those boundary fielders quite often, especially for seamers.
Pretty much. They're going to change it a little bit here. Obviously for Melly, who's just faced one ball, they're going to bring Tector. Harry Tector is going to come in and leave the boundary rider out, just one. So mid-wicket comes in.
I did laugh. You said you're going to bring Tector in. It was
which one?
Tim and Harry are out in square leg and mid-wicket, but Harry Tector in on the 1 and mid-wicket now.
Just lost that one.
Well, a little bit of luck as well, because it's taken the glove, I think, and Lorcan Tucker was moving very early on, read the action of the bowler. John McNally looking for a little bit of extra pace, loses his shape.
Oh, something happened there. He's got something in his eye, I think, there. he looks as if a ghost had arrived there or something.
Plenty of flies around here, certainly in front of us, so if one of those just ends up in your eye, it can be unpleasant.
Just pulled up there. A bit of a laugh about it.
been a while since I've seen John McNally bowling in this kind of fashion where you can check his run up out, and he's got the 2 little side steps at the beginning of his run up. It's like you get in ladders. Have you ever done those ladders where 2 feet out, 2 feet in?
Yeah. This is his little tail. As I was saying about Gavin Rolston earlier, when he was batting, he was lifting that back leg, and it was just his little tail. Obviously, the bowler's got one as well. Little trigger movement. That's nicely bowled. And a bit of a camera throw there from Gavin Hoy.
Much better that from John McNally. Finished his action into the pitch. He bowls a pretty heavy ball, so you can see that the batsmen are thinking, right, I'm going to take him on, and then it just lifts that little bit extra off the pitch than maybe for other bowlers, especially when he finishes it off and hits the deck hard.
That's edged. There will be a man down there. Jim Mondron has He's been placed down there. I was talking with Craig a little bit earlier on there about the 2 out there. You know, batter Scott Macbeth, he almost universally say he's the most talented player in the Northwest of a young variety. I mean, I'm mentioning John McNally. He probably has stepped up this year to be that for Leinster, you would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's been someone who's been marked out from an early age, 13, 14. He was head and shoulders above the rest in club cricket and into pro cricket at that age group. He was tall at that age as well. Doesn't look that different now, just as filled out a little bit from then. But yeah, he had all the work ethic that you need, and that's shown in that over. 3 runs from it, 8 overs gone, 38 for 4. He's the one that had the attitude you want as a leader in a club. It was a big club at the time when I would have worked with him in Clontarf, and you know, we had 30 or 40 kids around his age group, which can be difficult to manage. The figures, good economy rate from all of the bowlers. Pick of them, Mundra on debut, 2 for 11 for him, 1 for Hand as well. But all the bowlers performing well for Leinster Lightning.
Oh, is that dropped? It's difficult to tell from here, but just the body language we have to go on. Talking like a little bit disappointed there, possibly. Get a look at it here.
I think it might just be that it went. Oh, it is a drop.
Yep.
Has to stick in the glove.
Doesn't matter, because the very next ball, it's almost a carbon copy of the shot. This time, Macbeth doesn't get any bat on it. Instead, it clips the top of the off. It's just a ball going on through from Hoy. And he gets Macbeth 38 for 5, and really a bit of a procession here for the Warriors. You can see the disappointment from Scott Macbeth there.
A really strange shot this, because he'd played the similar one, the ball before, wasn't successful. Difficult to pull bowling that length. Definitely want to play down the ground, or possibly the sweep shot would be a better option, but a really poor option from Macbeth. So 38 for 5 now. He goes for 12 from 11. And it's the captain, Andy McBride, who has to come out and see if he can muster something for the Northwest Warriors. They're in 3rd position. 11 points to them. Leinster Lightning, completely opposite season. They're on 29 points. Each of those teams have played 7. Northern Knights in 2nd have played 8. They're on 21, so they're doing slightly better, but they can't catch Leinster Lightning. They've played 8 matches, as I said, so just cannot catch Leinster Lightning. Munster Reds right down the bottom with 7.
Yeah, we were all the way back to May when we were here for the festival. That festival pretty much set up the season for the Lightning. They were very, very good those 3 days, particularly that win over the Knights on the 3rd day. They had a good side out that day, and they were professional, clinical. Beat the Knights that day, came away unbeaten from that festival, and they've just continued on. They remain unbeaten and just look a pretty good outfit in T20 at the minute.
It does feel like they've got the bones of such a good team. They can swap in and out players very easily, find horses for courses as well.
Yeah.
If they need a skill set, they've got someone that can come in. Difficult team to break into, really, when you look at the squad that they have, that the players that they've left out.
Yeah, and I think the Knights had that last year, where they were able to get a good squad, and if somebody was missing, and particularly the internationals, obviously no Adair last year, no Sterling, they were able to cover those losses very, very well. I think, although possibly maybe more numerical in terms of the Lightning, they do lose a few, but they've been able to cover very, very well this year and have a good squad basis. And just got into the habit of winning T20. And even when he drops a little bit short, only costs him one. Fielding's good. Athletic on the boundary there from Harry Tector.
Well, with the senior internationals, the thing you really notice is the anticipation and how quickly they can move into position before the ball's even on its way to them. They read the way that the batter's shaping up probably the best.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Just watch Tector on the boundary there, his angle as well. He's able to cut that off and just tell the batters that I'm on that ball almost before he is.
Mundra having to deal with a little bit of difficult bounce, but does well. The bowling's been excellent so far. We'll catch up on our graphics as soon as we can. I think it was just the couple added to the total, 40 for 5 after 9.
Yeah, Anthony McBride, obviously the skipper for the Warriors. Seems to have got that tag of rescue man now, but he's a much better cricketer than that. But it just seems to be too often these days that he's coming in a difficult situation. I'm sure he'd rather be sitting in the dugout with his feet up until the last few overs, but he's out there again before the 10th over. Quick change of bowling. Going to be Sam Harbinson, replace John McNally. He's going to bowl from the nursery end. Work down to Jay Mundra again at third man. A single to Cameron Milley.
Well, they've got to just work the ball around now for a couple of overs, forced into it by half of their allotment already back in the sheds, or in the tent, I suppose, as we have here in Pembroke. We're all intense.
We're all intense, yep.
Intense, not intense.
It's pretty intense out there at the minute for the poor old Warriors. Oh, he has another shy.
Well, that one was fair enough,
That
I
one was
think.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, because it was Cameron Malley thinking that there was a single there. It didn't recognise that Gavin Hoey was in an excellent position. Went straight to him. He's quite far around in backward point, also in off the circle.
Just the one again. But yeah, just not the T20. You know, the T20 thing for the Warriors here. They just have not been able to set a platform at any stage where the likes of a Melly or a Scott Macbeth, where he can sort of tee off in those last 4. They just haven't had that opportunity at all this season. And it's just led to a very disappointing T20 campaign. It's the same thing again from that festival back here in May. They've never really recovered from that.
We just wonder as well, maybe giving those players that are coming in down the order and having to rescue, maybe giving one of them an opportunity up the top of the order. I appreciate it's a different set of skills. You're dealing with a swinging ball, maybe more out and out pace at the very beginning of the innings, but after such a long season, if it's not working, try something different maybe.
Yeah. No, he tries to do something different, but doesn't get the hold of that. And the disappointing thing at the moment, obviously, we were at a game on Sunday which turned on a heartbeat, and we were talking about 52 for 5 at one stage that Leinster were, and the next minute they were 192. So look, things can turn around, but obviously looking at what we're looking at here, we were talking pre-game about the strength of their bowling lineup. Looking down that lineup today, it is a really strong lineup, but if they've only got 100 on the board to defend,
nothing to bowl at.
It's difficult.
Well, I mean, I think that was a case of the two teams that had come through all the competitions getting to a final. So both teams had that belief within their batting and bowling units that they could do the job. This team, by comparison, hasn't had a good season. So the end of another over, I think it's about 44 for 5. We will catch up on our graphics very soon. But just a couple of issues. But needless to say that Northwest Warriors are in a bit of bother. They haven't crossed 50 yet, and they've got their 5 wickets down, and it just doesn't look like they've got a plan. In that game we were speaking about, the All-Ireland T20 final, a couple of players went, do you know what, let's just take the game on. Yeah. And it came off. And that happened in both innings from different batters and in very different ways as well. It was for Leinster coming back with ball in hand. They had that belief they could take wickets, and they kind of came back into the game from nothing. But Northwest Warriors need, maybe it's Andy McBride, their captain. He's someone who knows exactly how to win games, how to take bowlers on. Why knock it around for a few overs? Why not just take the game on now?
Way to continue. Nicely bowled. Really nicely bowled. Yeah, going back to that game on Sunday, I think you made a really good point on that day that you wanted the team, it was Leinster at that time you were saying, to try and win the game rather than just play not to lose the game. Yeah. It was a really good point, and just Tom Johnson did exactly that. He took it on, and if he'd have got out for 10, they couldn't really blame him.
No, if he got out for 10, they would have lost the game. And they did lose the game in the end, but it was in a super over. But if he got out for 10, at least he didn't die wondering, knocking the ball around. He just took it on. And, when it's your day, it's your day. If it's not your day, it won't come off. But you never know unless you're going to take it on. I appreciate it's difficult to take on this bowling attack, but that's why you're selected for your union.
Gone. He's given it. Andy McBride's going to look up and see that he's been given. He's going to have a chat with his international teammates, and he's looking back fairly quizzically. Pretty sure it's been given out caught behind. Well, it slipped. Andy McBride's not sure. Hayden Seaver was. And the 6th wicket has gone. Going to get a look at it now, see what you think.
Well, McBride goes for 3, looking to defend one here from Gavin Hoey. It's the regulation leg spinner, and he's been given out LBW.
It's LBW, yeah.
I'm not quite sure why Andy McBride is so confused. He's turning
possibly
quite
because
a lot.
I was confused. I'm giving him out caught behind as well.
Well, I imagine you were looking at the pitch.
I was at the pitch, yeah.
Rather than the screen, so it's difficult to tell from there. But he goes for 3 from 9 deliveries. And Northwest Warriors in all sorts of trouble. They are 44 for 6.
Yeah, and just with what I was really chatting about there, we're going to probably gloss over the fact there was a really nice delivery again. He's just drifted that one away from the left-hander and then straightened it up. I think we agree there. That was looking pretty straight. Seaver did as well.
Well, I think that's the skills of Gavin Hoey coming out, because I'm not sure that McBride read what delivery that was. That was a regulation leg spinner. But he bowls such a good googly, and you find leg spin as well. So many googlies to left-handers. They kind of play for the googly first. Not just for Gavin Hoey, but for leg spinners in particular. 3 for 8 for Gavin Hoey, and plenty of time. Well, 4 wickets remaining, and plenty of time in his spell to claim another couple or even 3.
Yeah, he's not doing his cause any harm at all here today. David O'Sullivan out in the middle. His debut for the Warriors. Certainly didn't think he'd be in the 10th over. Well, the 11th. Gets off the mark though. Again, nice shot from Millie, but it's only one. They're not getting the shackles broken at all. No boundaries coming. It's wickets instead of boundaries at the moment. The run rate going nowhere as well. Not a good recipe for the Warriors at the minute. End of another Hoey over. Just 3 for 10 for him from those 3 overs. Excellent spell already.
Yeah, I feel like I called it a little bit early about him having lots of time. Just 1 over remaining to see can he
Well, the way it's
add to
going,
that wicket tally.
that might be enough the way it's going. He's bowled beautifully there. We did big him up before he came on, and he's certainly shown that. But yeah, 46 for 6, not a great show here in terms of T20. We want to see good competitive cricket, really. Not been on show here, really, from the Warriors, apart from that first over. It's been all lightning since. Skipper going to come on now.
Andy Balburney having a good time there, and Slip always good as I won't call him a veteran, but like the senior player, I suppose, to be able to hang out and Slip chat to your pal Lorcan Tucker there. Not good news for a batting team though, if that's the case. I'd love to see George Dockrell bring himself on. I think we always spoke about it early in his captaincy career for Leinster Lightning. He underbowled himself. So always find it difficult to find the right time to bring himself on.
Yeah, it is a skill to be able to say the confidence of yourself, I'm going to bowl here, when you're captain. That's beaten point, and that's going to run away, and that's the first boundary we've had in quite some time. Millie gets that, only beats backward point, and quick scoring ground here at Pembroke.
Last 4 was in the 7th over, so much needed by Northwest Warriors. Nice hands through the offside, beats the diving fielder. It just keeps fading away from cover as well. Fionn not able to stop it. Much better length. Just needs to pull it back in a fraction more though.
Yeah, somewhere between those two, you would think, would be the perfect length. Right about there. That's a good single. That's where we're at in this innings. You know, we bring the 50 up, just into 50 there with that boundary. You know, we're talking about good singles and things like that stuff.
It's the kind of thing you talk about in a 50
really.
over game.
You're kind of hoping that it's a sort of plethora of boundaries, or, you know, well taken single isn't really going to win you too many T20s. So David O'Sullivan face Dockrell.
Good testing line and length there from George Dockrell. Just getting a little bit of turn off the pitch as well. It means he can't just be milked into the leg side. All the fielders out apart from 45 on that side. So if he's not turning it, pretty easy to push him into that leg side.
There is that short ball, and that's been dispatched. Poor ball from George Dockrell to finish the over. And fair play to David O'Sullivan. He doesn't miss out. Could have been just nice and easy to tuck that into the leg side and take your one, but it's a poor ball, and he puts it away over the boundary for 6.
For a 6 since the first ball of the 4th over of the innings. 2 short, straight as well. Just swivels on the back foot, heaves it over leg side. Tim Tector interested for a minute. I recognised that the power was there. 12 overs gone, 57 for 6.
As I say, good for O'Sullivan not just to get into defensive mode there and just milk a single, as you mentioned. You get a bad ball, got to put it away. Here is that final over from Gavin Hoy.
Good desperation from him, chasing that one. Don't think it would have been 2. The fielder from long on would have come in and saved it, but he's an excellent fielder. Gavin Hoy recognised the danger early, set off.
Oh, it's a lovely delivery. That is beautiful. Oh, you could take that one along with him. Just get a picture of that one later on, because that's beautiful. Angling in towards it, off stump, and then pitches and straightens. Too good for O'Sullivan, that one. He goes offside, upish again.
They say he goes offside. I don't reckon he actually meant to go
Meant
offside.
yeah.
I reckon he wanted to go straight or even maybe slightly leg side, but takes the outside half of the bat. Goes at it well enough that it sails over George Dockrell in extra cover.
McNally on the boundary. Again, good speed to the ball, keeps it down to 1.
Yeah, and for me, not just speed to the ball, but it's from the moment he picks it up to the moment he releases it is so quick. And that's really the area where most people fall down, especially going to your left-hand side if you're right-handed. Great as well to see Gavin Hoey sticking to mainly leg spinners. You see leg spinners in T20 going to googlies or top spinners an awful lot, but he's sticking to his main skill.
Yeah, it's the old thing. If he ain't broke, you know what I mean? He's been bowling beautifully there. Finishes his spell 3 for 14, and as I say, terrific exhibition there from Gavin Hoy. 3 for 14 from his 4, and it's 61 for 6.
Yes, he closes out, so we'll see a new bowler from the St. John's End next over up. George Dockrell is going to take himself off. Decided his over of 11 wasn't good enough to keep himself on, so Sam Harbinson gets a second go, as does Craig Senior, who's now alongside.
Good afternoon. How are you today? It's certainly been all action so far.
Yeah, not the action that you'd want necessarily from T20s, which is usually boundaries and sixes, but certainly from a Leinster Lightning point of view, 6 wickets is pretty good in 13 overs. Harbinson then. So I think they'll be able to do a lot of that. They'll be able to work it around, no problem. Should be able to get singles off most deliveries. It's just whether they can score the boundaries and look to get up towards 110, maybe 120 even.
Yeah, it took them a while to get to the half century with all those wickets falling. It really has been the best way of pegging back a run rate, taking wickets. But as for what the final total will be, very difficult to say.
Gavin Hoey finished though, 3 overs for 13, so he's out of the attack. He can't bowl any of the remaining 7 overs. So he's the most potent threat.
He certainly has been thus far anyway.
Oh, well, just about catches the inside edge, and that'll race away for 4. The look goes the way of the Northwest Warriors. They haven't had too much of it, but it just scoots past the leg stump and beats the fielder Seamus Lynch in the deep.
Well, this is fortunate runs. We were saying that they were having trouble finding the boundary. Well, they find it the most unorthodox way there. Chopped down inside edge, flew away to fine leg. And it's a very welcome boundary for the Warriors.
Yeah, unlucky that from Sam Harbinson, because he'd bowled a hard length which had pushed Melly back on the back foot, which was, I think, a poor decision, as we saw. Just about managed to get the bat down in time to take the inside edge. But they take the boundaries any way they can. I think that's a funny phrase, because no matter what, you always take boundaries any way you can, but especially in this kind of run-getting operation where it's proving very difficult. As a bowler, it's always difficult because nobody else has gone for many runs. You don't want to be the one. George Dockrell won't have enjoyed going for 11 in his over.
No bowler likes to see the ball disappearing like that, and Dockrell immediately turning back to pace.
Nice change of that from Sam Harbinson. Just rolls the fingers over, bowls that bit fuller. Keeps it away from Melly, who's just signalled down to O'Sullivan that was a slower delivery.
Well, still 38 balls remaining. So, yeah, you're talking about, even if they score a 6 and over from here on in, not much over 110. And, well, it will be below par, I think is the polite way of putting it.
Absolutely. Well, changing the field, fine leg, comes up, long off, goes back. Strays down the leg side ever so slightly, but Rolly Black recognises that Melly had gone inside the line, so it won't be a wide.
Well, Melly had immediately spotted that fine leg had come up into the ring and was looking to push it past him, but couldn't catch up with the delivery on that occasion.
Another slower delivery, so they'll get it into the leg side. Can they come back for two? Decided against it. John McNally doing well in the end. The end of another over, 14 gone, 68 for 6.
Well, the best thing at the moment is no wicket has fallen for over 3 overs. And these two starting to put together a bit of a partnership. They've put on 24 so far, which ordinarily we wouldn't count too much as a partnership, but in this innings it's actually proving to be the biggest thus far. Good to see a good few people in today.
Yeah, it's looked like a nice... I was thinking throughout the day it's going to get rained off at some point, but it's a nice afternoon, nice and warm as well, which it hasn't necessarily been the last few days. George Dockrell opting to switch ends. Bowler's left in his armoury. He's got 1 from Mundra, the debutant, 2 for Fionn Hand and John McNally available as well. Sam Harbinson has another one that he can offer. Has a 2 in fact. But it's George Dockrell who'll bowl the 15th over. Straight away on the charge, heave leg side, fielder comes underneath it and takes an easy catch. Well, you talk about there not being a wicket in a while, we have one now. Fionn Hand, the catcher, 68 for 7 now as Melly looked to get his skates on.
Well, he was the number 6 batsman. He was the one that the Northwest were hoping was going to go on and score some runs. He'd managed to get 17 from 20, but then he takes on Dockrell. And it was never really looked like clearing the line. It was always coming down well inside, and Hand with a safe pair of hands takes the catch, 68 for 7, and that partnership is broken.
I think he just recognised, didn't he, Melly, that he wasn't quite there. Tried to go across the line then because he wasn't there and didn't catch it very well. So 7th wicket down. Spin doing the job again. That's the 4th wicket to the spinners. 3 for Gavin Hoey bowling from this same end, the St John's end. George Dockrell recognising maybe this is the better end to bowl spin from. I think he often takes a couple of balls to get into an over, can be a little bit too full. That's what Melly was banking on. But if he starts that over nicely, starts it with the wicket. Macbeth, the new batsman, in. Slower delivery that time.
Well, with the scoreboard showing 7 wickets down, it does give Dockrell the option of using that slower ball, getting it down there. Slip close and tight with Tucker.
Straight down the leg side, helped around the corner, but just can't beat Jai Mundra there. Just waiting to see, is it a leg by? No, I think maybe it just caught the glove because not a great connection. Blasted back past George Dockrell. Won't beat the fielder. Seamus Lynch down there, long on. Dockrell frustrated, I think, that he'd let that one go past him.
No bowler likes conceding runs, especially when they feel they should have stopped it.
Easier one that time. It's a good return over this from George Dockrell. He's just gone for the single. He's taken the wicket as well. Flighted again. So at this point, 7 wickets down. What do you think Northwest Warriors will be aiming to get towards?
Well, they would bite your hand off for a run of ball total at this stage. But it's not looking likely at the moment. Mind you, that having been said, Ryan Macbeth is as fine batsman. Bats a lot higher up for his club, I suspect. Certainly well capable of holding the bat and putting together a partnership. At the moment, not only do the Northwest need a partnership, they need a lot of runs. What a lovely sky we have in front of us there.
Yes, beautiful conditions for cricket. The forecast wasn't amazing when I looked at it this morning, but looks like the rain might be coming in a little bit later than was forecast. That will be good news for us. Hopefully not too much, because we've got more IP20 action tomorrow between the two same sides. 71 for 7 at the moment. We'll get those graphics back up and running for you, but for the meantime, we'll try and keep tally here in the commentary position. Fionn Hand returning. He's got 2 overs remaining. Comes on again from the nursery end. Jittery feet from Ryan Macbeth there. Didn't come forward or go back, so that can be the problem when the seamers come back on if you've faced a bit of spin. Not reading the bowling at all there, Macbeth. And also he's trying to think, I need to attack. So
he's definitely looking to get the bat away from his body and use full levers to try and get it away to the boundary. But he's also got to consider there are 7 wickets down and still plenty of overs.
They'll come back here because 4 fielders up on the offside. All the fielders on the leg side are on the boundary, long on, mid-wicket, square and fine. Just the 1 man in the deep on the offside, that's cover. And they've got 2 men patrolling behind point, one of whom is George Dockerley, just threw that one. So good decision not to take him on, I think. Fionn Hand knows exactly where he wants to bowl this. In at Macbeth. Wants to get hit towards the longer boundary of the 2.
Well, the Leinster Lightning won't mind singles at this stage. I mean, even a total, if the Northwest manage to creep up to a run a ball at 120, I don't think the Leinster Lightning will be overly concerned.
No, absolutely not. The space, if they want to take it on, is probably over mid-off. Bouncer there, good bouncer as well, because forced the duck from David O'Sullivan. I think he was itching to hit it over mid-off there. Called that was the space. He was thinking, right, any kind of length at all, because he's a tall man. Wants to take on Sam Harbinson in mid-off, but gets the one up around the ears instead. And that's the Yorker appeal. Edge gone. Rolly Black says, yep, just about. It was a good take that from Lorcan Tucker, because it was very, very low. It was right around the ankles, but Fionn Hand, after an excellent over, just gone for 1 run in it, takes the 8th wicket for Northwest Warriors. 72 for 8 now.
Well, this is the most nonchalant appeal you're going to see all season. Definite inside edge. Nice take low to the ground for Tucker. And bowler and umpire in agreement that Tucker had taken the catch. And an 8th wicket falls in this Northwest Warriors innings. Well, it's never really got going.
Went for 11 from 14 there, David O'Sullivan. Caught Tucker bowled hand. That brings out Craig Young to the middle. The way they've gone about this innings, Leinster Lightning, it's like they've known what was going to happen from the beginning of the game. They just came out with such assurance, such confidence. They've carried it right through the innings. Craig Young digging out a good Yorker from Fionn Hand to close out that over the wicket, and 1 run in it. 72 for 8 at the end of 16.
Well, it really is poor performance from the Northwest. None of their batters have really sort of been able to impose themselves on the bowling. As you say, it's been extremely professional. It's like plan A worked. Why would we change anything from the Leinster Lightning? They've gone into this, obviously, with an idea of how the game they wanted it to progress, and it's it's been better than they could have imagined, I suspect.
Yeah, George Dockrell, captain there, ball in hand. Will bowl his third. He's already taken a wicket in his second over. Heave leg side for Ryan Macbeth, going down leg, you'd imagine. So Aidan Seaver didn't have too much difficulty making that decision. The time has obviously come for the big swings.
Well, we're into the last 4 overs now. With 8 wickets down, well, you've nothing to lose.
Well, if you've just come back there, but the bails were whipped off by Lorcan Tucker. It wasn't that George Dockrell bowled him. A good bit of turn there from George Dockrell. Good signs for him. A little bit quicker through the air on that occasion.
You can see the batsman, he needs to hit the ball and hit it hard is the feeling. He's trying to get himself into position to do it, and at the moment the ball just isn't coming, and he has, well, very little patience at the moment. As I say, just 22 deliveries remaining.
There's the arm ball from George Dockrell. A little bit more pace. Nice pick up from Mundra. Had to hit but missed. It was an excellent piece of fielding. Took a kind bounce up into the hand, left-handed as well, so had to throw on the run. I feel like if it was a right armer, it would have been a little bit easier. But he got the ball away quickly, and it's quite funny to see him as a debutant. He's in those positions where you don't necessarily put your best fielders, but he's an absolutely class fielder. The man from Leinster. Another single. Just can't break the shackles. And George Dockrell not offering anything up in the swinging arc of these two Northwest Warriors batsmen. Macbeth and Young just trying to give themselves something to bowl at. Again, can't beat Mundra in 45. Just clutching his hamstring a little bit, so that's a bit of a worry for Leinster Lightning, but hopefully, yeah, it looks like he's okay. He's going to continue on the end of another over. Only singles in it though, 17 overs gone, 76 for 8.
And it's starting to look like the Northwest Warriors aren't even going to make it to 100, let alone 110 or a run a ball. So it's looking tough for them there now. 3 overs remaining, and they've got to get as many as they possibly can to give their bowlers any sort of chance against what is a strong Leinster Lightning batting lineup.
I love that phrase, looking tough for them now. Was there any stage where it was looking not, but 10 for none off 1 was looking pretty good?
Well, yeah, end of the first over. Yep, the Northwest would have been quite happy with that. Unfortunately, it's totally gone the other way.
Jai Mundra, the debutant, coming back on. He took the opening 2 wickets for Leinster Lightning. Has that extra little bit of pace, and we saw him in those club finals on Sunday. He didn't bowl as many change-ups. He's definitely used them well today. Always the danger when you've got the extra pace on, get it slightly wrong and it sails to the boundary. 4 more.
Well, not the cleanest shot for the Northwest, but it takes them on 79, and that's the figure they'll be looking at. Bowler just going a little wide here. Batsman throwing the bat at it. I mean, talk about clearing the front leg. It was almost square on by the time he hit that. But it took the edge, flash hard, gets the boundary. Dockrell just has a little word with his bowler.
And he's talking to him presumably about his field. He can't afford to bowl that line with third up. There's the change-up. I saw him bowling in that club final, like I said, the All-Ireland T20, and he looked good, but he went for plenty of runs, and I feel like he was missing that maybe communication from a captain figure, like from George Dockrell there, where he said, look, this is the plan. We've set the field for X. I think for maybe this over, they've set the plan for it to be hit into the leg side. And third is up, so he absolutely can't afford to bowl outside off. Craig Young eyeing that up. Another change up, just lifted over the bowler's head, won't make it down to the fielder, Harry Tector in the deep. But I think George Dockrell will say to him, just keep looking to go for singles and you can take wickets that way.
Well, there is plenty of pressure on the batsman already to try and get after the bowler. Scoreboard ensures that. Dockrell heading off to extra cover.
looking to use the pace, but the fielder is well placed. Sam Harbinson in there cutting it off, so another dot after a boundary first ball, pulling it back nicely here, Mundra.
Well, for a debutant, he's done exceptionally well. 2 for 17 with 2 balls left in his allocation. He'll be delighted. And good for him to see what the next step up is to interprovincial cricket.
Short into the leg side, heaved into the deep, and another wicket goes to the hands of Tim Tector. So a third wicket for Mundra as Ryan McBeth looked to hit another one for 6, but it wasn't to be. Northwest Warriors lose their 9th wicket. It's Macbeth goes for 10 from 16 deliveries. Northwest Warriors 81 for 9.
Well, 100 certainly looks well into the distance at the moment. You can see the Northwest Warriors looking for the rope any chance they get. And again, the short ball pays off.
Tim Tector just throwing it up there because he knew he was going to step over the rope. 1 delivery remaining for Mundra. I reckon he rolled the fingers over that one as well. It was the bouncer, but did he roll the fingers ever so slightly? So it was somewhat of a slower ball bouncer. Left-hander in Conor Alford. Great to see him back playing for the Northwest Warriors. Hopefully we get an opportunity to get a good look at him bowling, because only 81 runs on the scoreboard for now. 13 balls remaining, but just the 1 wicket under their belts. Northwest Warriors, these two will have to, whenever this innings ends, get their skates on, get the pads off and get ready to bowl. And Craig Young farming the strike. 18 overs gone, 81 for 9.
81 for 9. Certainly below where the Northwest Warriors would have wanted to be. But Leinster have done a good job of, once they got the Northwest Warriors, well, onto the canvas, and it's like they're not letting him off. Jai Mundra, 4 overs, 1 maiden. Remember, 10 runs came off his first over, so the following 3 overs, 7 runs and 3 wickets. He's had a super debut, and I don't think it'll be the last we see of him in the blue of Leinster Lightning.
Well, he's got a bright future, doesn't he? Because he's got extra pace, he's left arm, excellent fielder. What's not to like? A day he won't forget. So congratulations to him on an excellent debut performance. Definitely easier to make your debut coming into a winning team, but that's not to take away from what's been a brilliant performance. And as I said, I think he's benefited from playing with a very professional unit who've fielded it well, but also been clear with him and what they want from him and what plans they want him to bowl to. See again, George Dockrell having a long discussion with John McNally, making it clear about the field that he's set and what that means for the lines and lengths that he wants bowled. Cover long off, square leg mid wicket, and long on are the 5 fielders out. Goes through the pads, and a difficult one for Lorcan Tucker behind the stumps. He would definitely want to have stopped that, but go down as a bite.
Well, it went through and never really got off the ground again, and that's what caused Tucker the problems. And once he got past him, well, the Northwest weren't going to turn down a free bye. Very proactive captaincy from Dockrell.
First bye of the innings.
Well, there you go. That will annoy the keeper then, having got through to the 19th over without conceding any.
Yeah, a little blemish. It's not easy keeping in Pembroke near the end of the season. It's such a used square at this point when the ball's pitched full, just scoots through off the footmarks. Well, across Conor Alford, who doesn't look assured in his shot. No real commitment to move to the offside there. A little unconvincing with the swing, shall we say.
Well, he's come in at number 11. There's probably a reason for that.
Probably.
Here for his bowling. But he'll be turning around to the batsman in the team and saying, well,
walks down, takes the attack to McNally, does the job, gets off strike, even if it's off his pads. Well, what I was wondering about Alfred was he's been out with injury, hasn't he, from bowling? So often you get bowlers coming back and they've added to their batting skills while they've been off injured with their bowling. Not sure that Alfred's made too many strides in that department. All the focus coming on the rehabilitation side, no doubt. So 1 by and 1 leg by off the over so far. And it gets the wicket. John McNally takes his first wicket of the game, takes the last wicket of the innings as Greg Young looks to heave leg side. They've been bowled out with 8 balls remaining, Northwest Warriors, and it's a sorry looking tale if you're a Northwest Warriors fan. 83 for 10, Young goes for 2 from 6, and they'll have to bowl some mighty spells in this run chase. Well, Northwest Warriors, they've got an excellent bowling attack, but they haven't got much to bowl at.
Here is the final wicket to fall. Craig Young, well, he was looking to go big with every delivery. You felt the big swipe, but the perfect length. When you've got a batsman who's setting himself like that, 83 all out. There is the Warriors card, and it isn't a great card. Just 4 players making it to double figures, and a top score of 17 from 21 for Cameron Melly. It really hasn't been the best innings the Northwest Warriors have put together. Just the 8 extras, that's good work from the Leinster Lightning, but again, just reflecting really the professionalism with which the Warriors were faced. The wickets spread about, but really not a lot there.
And the bowlers were really professional, 6 of them used. Only Harbinson didn't manage to take a wicket, but bowled with good economy, as did all the bowlers. Best in that format was McNally, 3.38 runs per over from his 2.4 overs. He got the wicket at the end, 1 for 9 for him. 3 wickets for Mundra on debut, 2 as well for Hand, 3 for Gavin Hoyu, who was supreme with his leg spin. 1 wicket for the captain, George Dockrell, 1 for 17 from 3, as Leinster Lightning, all the bowlers contributing and performing to bowl the Northwest Warriors out inside the 19th over. So the story of the day is that Northwest Warriors just haven't really turned up, only managing to amass 83 runs in their run-getting operation. Howie, the pick of the bowlers, and Mundra as well, after going for 10 in his first over, was supremely impressive in his following 3 for 17 for him. And so after electing to bat, having won the toss, the Northwest Warriors will be wondering what they were thinking, as Leinster Lightning will be getting ready to chase this total down and continue their winning streak. 84 required for victory in the second half. Join us again in just over 10 minutes' time to see how that one goes.
So welcome back to Sydney Parade. And we're in the middle of this IP20 game between the Leinster Lightning and the Northwest Warriors. And yeah, not much of a first innings there really from the Warriors, just 83 bowled out well before the end of their 20 overs, just a regular procession of wickets all the way along, and just 83 on the board for the Warriors. So we talked a little bit earlier about quite a decent lineup with the bowling attack, but when you've got 83 to defend, it's going to be a difficult task. So we're all set here. Andrew Balbirnie ready to face with Tim Tector. I have Isabel Joyce beside me. So yeah, not a great effort there from the Warriors, to be honest.
No, they need wickets and they need them fast and they need them with regularity. Ryan Macbeth will be the first one asked to take a wicket. Balbirnie facing up. Oh, well, that's a nice bit of lateral movement.
Yeah, I'm going to get plenty of that from Ryan Macbeth, certainly in this opening over. Saw him performing for his club side on Sunday in Lisburn. Fairly stock delivery from the Warrior. Just bowls in that little channel, tries to shape it away from the right-hander. And we're off the mark into the offside. Cameron Millie on the boundary, and it's Andrew Balbirnie who gets off the mark.
Well, that brings Tim Tector, top run scorer in the competition, on strike, 233 runs before today to his name. Next behind him, Ross Adair from the Northern Knights. And in fact, it's Andy Balbirnie who's the 7th highest. He's the next best in the Leinster Lightning lineup, but they have plenty of players that are in and around the top 15. That's why they're out on top.
Yeah, and it's a good CV from Tim Tector, because he was similarly last year top run scorer in the T20. Continued on this year, and again set his stall out in that festival back in May where he got a couple of 50s early, and yeah, he just developed into a really good T20 player for this Lightning outfit. It's going to be out. I'll put the markers on him. There is the wicket. Doesn't time that at all, and just lifts it to mid-on. Sullivan with the catch. Yeah. Tector goes.
Yeah, goes for none. None from 2, or none from 3, in fact. Well, none from 2, sorry. None from 2 for Tector. Just say Tucker on your scorecard. It's actually Tim Tector who's out. Comes down the pitch. Looks to go a little bit 2 leg side, catches the inside half of the bat, and an easy catch in the end. So we said they needed early wickets, and they needed them often. They certainly got the early one. Tucker is the new man out at number 3. 2 experienced batters. He's the 8th top run scorer. As Tucker with 135 runs. And you'd have to think that part of the reason why Balbirnie and Tucker are a little bit further down the run scoring is because they're obviously away for some T20s because of international duty. That's something Tim Tector hasn't quite cracked into the senior international team yet, so he generally plays every game.
Strange shot, that, because it looked as if it was there for the shot that he was playing.
I think he was still on the move.
Yeah, a little bit. It just wasn't set like he usually is. He's usually quite balanced at the crease, but yeah, just the shot did look on. He didn't get hold of it at all.
Yeah, I reckon he was swinging as he was still taking that last step, and you definitely want to have that base before you swing through, if you possibly can. He definitely didn't for that one.
There's the trademark Ryan Macbeth yelp as he beats the bat. Decent over, you have to say. 1 for 1 for Macbeth and 1 for 1 for the Leinster Lightning.
Yes, excellent start. It was chalk and cheese to the Leinster Lightning start, because that first over went for 10 in the Northwest Warriors innings, but they pulled it back very quickly, and just didn't allow the Northwest Warriors to get going at all. David O'Sullivan was one of the players who got into double figures with the bat, and he's going to have the new ball now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see him here. He's performed really well for his club side Donaman up in the Northwest, and as I mentioned with Craig earlier, they were very much, still are in fact, in the hunt for league honours in the Northwest. His club skipper, Nick McBrien, of course, here as well with the Warriors, so we'll see O'Sullivan. Not a great deal of momentum in his run-up, gets it all from his arm.
Yeah, strong man. Definitely doesn't get much out of that ambling approach.
Yes, the quickest run-up, but as I say, he can get it through. Watched him for the emerging Warriors earlier in the season.
Well, inside edge, saving Andy Balburney
yeah.
there. He does have a lovely strong action. Very simple. Comes over the front leg, a nice hinge at the hip as well. So even though ball's quite full, ball's a heavy ball. So maybe just gets the seam to do some work and gets it to nibble around ever so slightly. He's bowling from the right end as well. He can bowl into the ridge here at Pembroke.
No, it's going to run away for 4 once it beats the infield there. The boundary fielder is on the square. No chance of catching that.
Opening boundary for Leinster Lightning. Third up inside the ring, slip as well. Cover and square the two fielders out. So that just tiny bit of width you can't offer Andy Balburney there. Doesn't matter that there's two fielders operating behind point. He finds the gap.
Goes the other way now. Fielder out on square leg, as you mentioned. So just a single.
That's the kind of line and length he needs to be at, because it's pulling Andy Balburney forward, but just nibbled in ever so slightly off the seam. We saw one in off the inside edge onto the pad earlier in the over. But any kind of width, and both these batters will latch onto it, and at this pace, we'll be able to take them down. Cover comes in, third goes out for Lorcan Tucker.
Yeah, you can see both Tucker and Balburney doing that little skiddy on mime. That's just caressed down the ground. First ball he faces from O'Sullivan.
This is really good plans from Lorcan Tucker, because he knows that at this pace O'Sullivan can't bowl short. So he just shuffles down. Have a look now. Starts just on middle and leg. Shuffle down from Tucker. Gets himself outside the line. Makes sure to get it straight of the fielder Craig Young in mid-on. His opening boundary. 2 for the over now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point in terms of Tucker. He really has now worked out his game. Even moving up into international standard, he seems to know exactly what he's trying to do and the plans in place. It's really good cricket brain now to go along with the talent. Should get 2 there. Ends the over. Ends up going for 11. Wasn't the worst over you ever likely to see, but just those couple. Certainly the Tucker one was a good shot. Balburney just sort of worked off it down to the boundary, but still it goes for 11 and 12 for 1.
I think that what that over illustrates is just the quality of the batters as opposed to the quality of the bowler. Definitely in club cricket, that's going to go for very few runs, you'd imagine. Whereas at this level, when you're opening the bowling, you can only have 2 fielders out. Just a slight bit off your liner length and you go for 4. That's what we saw there.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that with Jim Undra's first over. He just bowled a couple of balls a little bit off the line that he would have expected, and they were dispatched for 4. Didn't get much better for the Warriors after that, and Mundry came back really well to take 3. But yeah, just stepping up from a club level into this and then up into international, it's just a step up. It's the slight margins that you've got become even slighter, if that's such a word.
Well, anytime a player steps up, you're wondering, is it going to be a stretch? Is it going to be too far, or are they going to step up? So it would be interesting to see if he does get another over David O'Sullivan, what he can change. The problem for him is he can't really bowl any quicker than that with the approach that he has. You do wonder if he's just bowling within himself, if he's got some injuries. I think that's been something that's hampered him in the past.
There is that small margin of error you talked about, just drifting down into the leg side. 6 inches maybe, not even that. Ball before, decent length. That one just drifting, and Balbirnie just helps it round the corner.
Yeah, too straight, and in fact that one just not swinging because he went too straight, so it continued on with the line. It was going down leg side, and Andy Balbirnie knew it was almost a free hit into square leg, just a mid-wicket really in the game there if he'd managed to find him, but he backed himself to miss him, so another boundary is Leinster Lightning making light work of this opening spell.
Just gets a hand on it. Cover.
Yeah, Gavin Ralston in there, just gets a hand on it, so saves the boundary on probably one of the easiest hits in Pembroke down towards the clubhouse there. It's almost cut off at an angle, so if you can beat extra cover, mid-off has very little chance of cutting it off. Square leg goes out now.
Yeah, we're back on the squares again. Seems to be a regular sort of thing in these T20s this year. Immediate. Used to be fine leg third, but now it's deep point, deep square leg is pretty much a set, and you keep your two fielders behind the square up.
Yeah, I think the thinking behind that is because in Pembroke the square boundaries are much longer. You make sure you get hit to them, so you're almost bowling into that hitting arc, and that's the length you bowl. If it goes to third or fine, it's going to be a boundary. Very difficult to protect those. Nice pick up from Conor Alford, but Lorcan Tucker gets his skates on for the final delivery of that over. 7 from it, 3 gone, 19 for 1. So just on that point, sometimes it's all about just getting hit to the boundary fielders. If you've only got 2, how are you going to force the batters to only hit to them and not take on the shorter boundaries? And in Pembroke, it's very much the straight ones. So don't get too full and get taken over your head. You also can't bowl too wide at that pace and get taken to third or fine.
Yeah, we've seen some big scores here over the years in the T20 format. Not so much today, of course, but over the years we've seen well over 180, 200 lots of times, and it's a difficult ground to defend at times.
Yeah, when you think back to those games, you kind of go, well, where were the boundaries? And you often saw the balls disappearing into the gardens straight and over the sight screen into the second pitch here behind us and behind where Andy McBride is. So players like George Dockrell in particular coming in and finishing off a game hit a lot of sixes straight, so you just can't afford to get too full. Pembroke, such a good pitch as well, such a good batting pitch usually. It does look a little bit more difficult today, but by and large it's a good one. Andy McBride looking to see, can he make the breakthrough? Can bring himself on inside the power play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he gets any grip here.
Well, you can be sure he won't want to get too full.
No. Same as your point. I want to give the opportunity to come straight down the ground here. Man out in that direction. There he is. Cameron Millie down there.
Well, Andy Balbirnie in particular difficult to bowl to as an off spinner because he's so good on the sweep. So is Lorcan Tucker.
I was just about to say this guy's not too bad either.
But Andy Balbirnie, for me, plays the sweep shot more in the power play than Lorcan Tucker.
Yep.
So just a little bit fuller there from Andy McBride.
Gonna take the one. Good running again.
Well, that's frustrating for Andy McBride because one thing about the Leinster Lightning fielding unit was that there weren't those easy singles on the ring. The fielder in point, because they had cover behind them, was able to come in those extra few steps, and the anticipation in there was excellent. In particular, George Dockrell was, and is always very good in there. Gavin Hoey stood out as well, but all the team fielded very well.
Yeah, we're just looking in front of us here that the Warriors are right on the line here in terms of the circle, whereas, as you say, the Lightning were originally 2 or 3 yards, and then the anticipation as well on top of that just created that squeeze.
That's definitely because they don't have anyone behind them, so you have to sit on the ring.
Yeah.
But a good opening over from McBride, 2 singles from it, 4 overs gone, 21 for 1.
Yeah, good over from McBride, as you say, just holding his length back, doesn't want to go full at all. Want to get a look at Craig Young now. Going to bowl the 5th over. Say the names just trip off here for the Warriors with the bowling lineup, missing Graham Hume today as well. So, it's just from their point of view, in terms of runs on the board to bowl at, disappointing from them.
Yeah, and you can see why Leinster Lightning didn't take any risks really against Andy McBride there. Will they treat Craig Young with the same respect? No.
Well, there's your answer in one shot right there. A little bit short, and Lorcan Tucker just decides, well, I'll give you your answer if you want one. Dispatched.
And he's playing on his home ground both for Pembroke and almost pretty much for Leinster Lightning as well. Too short from Craig Young and a somewhat slow deck. No swing on offer. Angled in towards the hip of Lorcan Tucker and heaved for the first boundary, or first 6 I should say, of the Leinster Lightning run chase.
Yeah, it was almost waiting on that. Very comfortably dispatched over square leg. Something very similar. Rolls the wrists on this one a little. Races away for another boundary. No chance for anyone to cut that off.
Well, the extra pace of Craig Young helping here because it's just got the bottom half of Lorcan Tucker's bat. Rolls the wrists over, actually. I didn't give him enough credit. And Conor Alford was just stationary there as that one flew past his right hand. I don't think he had any chance to cut it off. You have to go straight to you. That happens sometimes, but it didn't on that occasion.
Very small window to stop that, Conor Alford. That was past him in a flash, really. And this is just a hitting exhibition here from Lorcan Tucker. Craig Young is trying to bowl a little bit quicker with every ball, and Lorcan Tucker's just hitting it a little bit harder every ball.
Well, he's got the field set for this catch. He shouted catch at Liam right after this shot, but it was hit with good power again. The wrists rolling over. It's one of the most difficult ones as a fielder. Those ones coming at pace that are dropping right below in front of you. You have to be able to. Well, I don't know if he even was close enough to catch it, but it went for 4 anyway. An expensive over.
Oh, he's going to be lucky in this occasion. You mentioned the last time. You just have to hope that it goes straight at your fielder. On that occasion, it does go straight at Ram Macbeth. So that was another boundary.
I think for the third, it's a little bit easier to pick up as the shot's being played. You know it's coming to you at 45. You're not picking that up at all. It's the last second thing. It either comes straight at you and you almost save your own life, or else it goes past you. So a rare dot in the over. 14 from it so far. We've gone from 1 for 1 to 35 for 1 in no time. Leinster Lightning. You don't imagine they'll want to take this game too deep.
No. These two, as you mentioned, out there playing on their home ground. Know everything about this place. There's that drop and run again, but that looks as if it was a real chance there. McBride there. There's the double teapot on just outside your screen there. And they get through for the single. 36 for 1. So 36 for 1 from 5. Just 1 over left in the power play. And Isabel Joyce takes a little break, and I'm joined once again by Craig Senior.
Well, plan A still working for Leinster.
Yes, I think so.
No need to go back to the drawing board at all. Tucker, 23 off just 13. And already the runs required under 50.
Yeah, pre-game, I looked at the two lineups, and obviously we talked about the fact that there was nothing in terms of titles and trophies on offer today. Leinster Lightning have already won the competition, but I just looked down the two lineups today, and this was the guy that I wanted to see today coming back into provincial cricket. And it's just a little bit of a disappointment for me that he's only got 83 runs and only 50 now to defend. I wanted to really see this man. It's Conor Alford. That's just off the edge. Flies down to third for another boundary. And Tucker's on a bit of a mission here.
Oh, a bit like you, Ali. I think he must have a train to catch. Because he seems to be in a rush at the moment. He quite deliberately cut underneath the ball there to lift it over the ring, get it down to the Willfield Road gate.
Flies away. Yeah, that's the only thing about Alfred. As I say, I just wanted to have a look at him. He came down here in May, and he was about to make his debut, having been out injured for so long, and got injured again in the warm-up. Hasn't represented the Warriors since. That's work to do again, and that is just exquisite from Lorcan Tucker. We've seen the power on the leg side in the previous over, and this is just caressed through mid-on.
Lovely shot. You see Tucker here. As Ali said, he's been using a lot of power on this occasion, just laying the bat on the ball, threading the eye of the needle, and it ran away for another 4 runs.
Completely lost it there. Alford.
Really put a bit more effort into that one.
Yeah.
Bent the back. Unfortunately, the extra pace came at a loss of control. Went for a wide.
Yeah, it's been a long time out for Conor Alford. Injuries constantly plaguing for the last couple of years. That's going to be 4 more, and Lorcan Tucker just having a field day here. He's already moved on to 35. Just drifting down leg side, and Tucker's not going to miss out.
Speed of the back coming down. The high back lift. Just giving it the momentum around the corner.
He's going to get a dot ball there, finally. Picks out the fielder. Sullivan at mid-off, but it was very well hit again.
Oh, Tucker has come out and is striking at 200.
Call another wide, and that will bring up the 50 within the power play for the Leinster Lightning. And to be honest, Andrew Balperny's just standing at the non-striker's end here. He stood at slip for pretty much the whole of the Warriors innings. Didn't really do a great deal, and went down to the other end, stood at slip, and now he's standing at the non-strikers watching Lorcan Tucker whack it all around Pembroke. And there's another. That's just a beautiful shot from Tucker. It really is.
Such a smooth shot. Me, I'd have to use every single muscle I have, plus a few I'd have to borrow from somebody else to hit the ball like that. But it just seemed smooth from him. It didn't seem to be muscled out for 6.
Yeah, just a full swing of the bat, and it carries a long, long way. follow through. Just the power hitting capability these days. And it's going to go again. Bounces. One bounce into the bushes. And yeah, just probably a welcome back for Conor Alford. I just said that I'd love to see him back in the green of the Warriors for an inter-pro return, and that's a welcome back from Lorcan Tucker. He moves to 45 from just 19 deliveries, and Alford's first over goes for 24. It's 60 for 1.
Oh, 10 and over. It's a stark contrast to the Northwest Warriors.
Well, it really is, and you know, just looking at this game, just the 24 needed now. And the Lightning are going to remain unbeaten. I think I can safely say that now. Never like to preempt anything, but I think I'm fairly confident with that. Andy McBride on. And even a misfield now allows Balburney through.
Well, Andy at the moment, Andy Balburney, he's quite happy to sit at the non-striker's end and watch the smooth, silky batting of Lorcan Tucker. Andy has the look of a council worker next to a big hole in the middle of the road at the moment, leaning on his bat.
Yeah, just looking into it and, you know, sighing or whatever. Yeah, just not doing a great deal. He's just leaning on the bat at the far end there. Not been a hard day at the office for Balburney today. Moves about the crease there. Tucker about McBride. Keeps it to 1. $61 for 1 already.
Well, you kind of get the feeling that with Andy Balburney, he's more than happy just to take the singles, just keep going.
Yeah, it does look like he's happy enough just to take the old proverbial red anchor here. Just knock it around.
We say that, and then
he pulls one of those out of the back. Yeah, you know, we just should learn from our mistakes, really, shouldn't we? Shouldn't really make any predictions about what batters are going to do, because he just pulls out the reverse sweep and middles it. And that goes for 4. Lovely shot.
no fielder anywhere in the vicinity. You can see why Balburney chose that shot. I think Andy McBride just having a look to see how far around the crease Balburney was going to be moving, and on this occasion he didn't move at all.
Didn't move at all, so yeah. Will he go this time? He's down the wicket. Well, it's been an exhibition from these two here, really. That's a beautiful shot, not the worst ball. He used his feet and just lifted it over mid-off. Just watch him use his feet here. So he played the reverse a couple of balls ago, got inside the line, just went through with the shot. Carries well over mid-off. Into the bushes again. 70 for 1 off 7.
Well, we were looking for a contest here. 3:30. Northwest Warriors won the toss. Decided that a score on the board was the way to go. Unfortunately, they picked the wrong score. Just 83. By comparison, at the same stage as Leinster find themselves 70 for 1 off 7. Well, the Northwest Warriors were exactly half that. 35, but they'd also lost 4 wickets. There's just no comparison between the two sides at the moment.
0. It's a team bang on form against a team lacking in confidence.
And one thing you have to say is, you know, when you look out at the Irish players, the 2 Leinster Lightning, 2 of the top 3 for the Irish side, they do look to be just above the rest.
Not, you know, it may not be don't want to call it politically correct or whatever to say so, but that actually disappoints me a little bit. I mentioned it during the Super Series. A lot of good cricket played in the Super Series, but when you looked at the the run charts, it was all the internationals that were scoring the runs. You'd like to see somebody coming along and sort of challenging. And today,
the irony is that the leading run scorer in this IP20 competition is Tim Tector.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. I'd like to see a guy like Tector coming along, pushing. He's topped the charts, as I say.
Here I am.
You know, and he's pushing, and he's putting a CV together in terms of T20. Now, he hasn't had the call up just yet. And obviously today he's got, not today, but that can happen in T20. That's clean hit again from Tucker, and that will take him to one of the most pleasing half centuries you're ever likely to see. Just 80 on the board. A little bit of freedom, I suppose, but that's the way he plays anyway. And he's got to his 50 off just 23 deliveries.
What a fabulous knock at a strike rate of 226. It's just been an absolute pleasure to watch.
Oh, that's done the fielder. I would say if something can go wrong today for the Northwest Warriors, it will. Batting's been poor. The bowling's just been under the pump, and the fielding today, just not with it. You can see this, just whether it comes out of the sun or a little bit of spin on it there, but
it certainly didn't even signal. Just turned right, left the fielder, standing there. There's nothing, no worse feeling.
We're now down to 2 to win. And sent back. Keeper does well, actually, there. But yeah, just on your point there, you know, you do want to see a little bit of competition for those international players. Yes, they, on the flip side of that, you want them to stand out because they're the international players.
Yeah.
But you also want the other guys to be challenging them and really putting them under a little bit of pressure. Definitely not the case today. Going to be the game. It's going to be the game, and as comfortable a win as you could ever wish to see for the Leinster Lightning. And yeah, for me, again, I'll say it, a little bit disappointing, really. A lot of people have come to this game today, and it's done within 8 overs. 83 for the Warriors, and the Lightning have chased it down at the end of the 8th over. Lorcan Tucker, to be fair, has played absolutely beautifully for 60 from 26, just 26 deliveries. Andrew Balburney more than happy just to knock it around and sit at the other end and watch that exhibition of batting from Lorcan Tucker. So another boundary to close the game out for Lorcan Tucker. As I say, 60 from just 26 deliveries. He has played beautifully. He's been easily the standout batter on show today. It's not been too much otherwise, and you can see there is his wagon wheel there. And just look at that. Blues and reds all around. Not too many ones and twos there in the yellow and white, and really from the start, different class from Lorcan Tucker.
Great to see on his home pitch. And there is the Leinster Lightning card. And despite Tim Tector, who went for a big shot, got the inside edge of the bat and was caught long on by O'Sullivan. That was the one success for the Warriors. Other than that, well, Tucker went mad.
Well, look at those figures there in the bowling. Just, Ram McBeth bowled a couple of overs and took the wicket of Tector. And then Andy McBride, again, his usual economical self, but the other three, I'm afraid, real double figures there in the runs per over, and Lorcan Tucker just had a field day there, really. And there's your match summary. The Warriors, having won the toss, they decided to bat first, but it was a decision they were going to regret because the bowling, I have to say, was excellent from the Lightning. They've really produced a performance today. Gavin Hoy, exceptional for his 3 for 14, and Jay Mundra on 3 for 17 on debut. As I say, the Lightning were excellent with the ball, not so much the Warriors with the bat. And them, as they came out the bat, just chasing 83. The Lightning, Lorcan Tucker, standout performance, 60 not out from 26. And the Leinster Lightning have won today by a very, very comfortable 9 wickets.
It kind of reflects the fact that the champions beat the third place team out of 4. And it was a very professional performance from the Lightning. It'll be interesting to see how the Northwest Warriors, what they do between now and 11 o'clock tomorrow morning when we start the IP20 game. And we hope that that one will perhaps be a bit more competitive than today's T20 was.
Yeah, you're right. We're back with IP50 tomorrow. And it's start tomorrow here again at Pembroke between the Leinster Lightning and the Northwest Warriors. Change of format, but the same 2 teams. I'd like to thank you for joining us today in what has been a very professional performance from the Leinster Lightning. Lovely to have you with us again tomorrow. Thank you to Craig Senior, Izzy Joyce and everyone at HBV. Hopefully you can join us again tomorrow.